Okay, you legends, welcome back to the channel, guys. Yes, today is Father's Day and I'm soon just going to get ready and go off and meet my boys and my favourite daughter-in-law as well. So, we are at the church, you legends, as you know. A little celebratory Father's Day tipple. Yes, guys, so today's video is about koi husbandry. I'll bring you back after the intro. Nice. Yes, guys, so this week I went out to a new customer, never met him before. His name is Steve, absolute legend, really nice guy, really down to earth. He's got, he had 2 Alsatians. They were massive, guys, long-haired Alsatians, absolutely beautiful. So let's get back on track. So I got a call from Steve and he was losing fish, like rapidly. He had been over to see the absolute legend called Ronaldo. Some people might know him as Ron. And he checked over his fish and he had trichidina. So Steve called me up. I went over as a bit of an emergency to check on his fish, check his pond and see what we could do about it. So yeah guys, I went over, set up all my stuff. Now the problem was that he told me he had 4 sturgeon. Now, with trichidina, the treatment is potassium permanganate, but you can't use potassium permanganate with sturgeon because sturgeon are generally river fish, freshwater fish, and they need a lot of oxygen. And as you know, potassium permanganate reduces the amount of oxygen in the water and it would kill the fish. So I did take some footage, guys, but I had to stop filming because literally while I was there, his fish were dying, like right in front of me, and I didn't want to film it. So I'll bring you some clips of what the footage I did take, and then I'll bring you back and we'll have a little chat about koi husbandry. Testicles. Okay, you legends, today we are here to help an absolute legend called Steve. Now, Steve's got trichidina on his fish. He's had some scrapes done. They've got trichidina. He's got goldfish, koi, and he's got sturgeon, but they're looking quite bad and he's losing fish hourly, basically. So we've come over, we're going to do some scrapes, we're going to treat his pond. Now the issue is he's got sturgeon. So what we've done, you legends, I've bought a vat, we've got the poles for the vat, we've got a medical kit, we're going to do some scrapes just to check over them. We've got a pump, so we're going to pump some of the water into the vat. I've got an air pump set up so that we can aerate it, we can get his sturgeon in, and then we can treat his pond with PP, and then we'll come back tomorrow. Absolutely lovely pond, guys. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll I'll leave some hydrogen peroxide and some more PP, and then we'll come back tomorrow and get his sturgeon back in, and hopefully the PP will make that water a lot clearer as well. So I'll bring you back when we're all set up. Okay, you legends, we have got the vat set up. It's really just massively affecting his goldfish at the moment. So yeah, also I forgot my net handle, so I've had to use his. We've got to find them sturgeon in here. You can see how poorly the fish are, guys. We have got the vat set up. That's just topping up with the hose pod, but also I'm going to put in some of the pond water, guys. So yes, you legends, we've set up the microscope just over here in the shade. And I'll put in a little clip. Yes, you legends, so I don't know if you can see that, but they're absolutely plastered in trichidina. If this phone will focus, this is the iPhone 8. Can you see that? Absolutely plastered, and they've also got flukes as well. plastered, guys. Yes, guys, so we've got the net off. Steve's just going through his pond trying to find his sturgeon. We've pumped some water from the pond into the vat. We've got a good 12 inches in there. We've got a nice big air stone running off an air pump, so that'll be safe for the fish. Now, he said he does have herons, your legends, around here, so that's why he's got his pond netted. So I have bought a cover net for the vat as well. So yeah, the scrapes are done. Literally, guys, he had trichodina and flukes. So the one thing half decent is we can treat for the trichodina, and that'll remove the slime coat. Come back tomorrow, collapse the vat, put the sturgeon back in, and then he can treat for his for the flukes. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we've caught the sturgeon. We go and measure the pond. So it's the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the depth times 6.25. That'll give you gallons. If you times that by 4.5, that'll pretty much give you how many litres you've got in the pond, and then we can work out the dosage. So there is a bit of algae in the pond, you legends. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a full dose plus 10%. So I'll bring you back when I measured the pond. Nice of him to let me film. He doesn't want to be in it, guys, that's why there's no real footage, but yeah, I'll bring you back when we've measured the pond. Testicles. Okay, you legends, so I've worked out the gallonage of his pond, and he needed 11 grams, but I've done 12.5, so it's just a little 10% extra. But the problem we've got is, and also I'm going to measure out his hydrogen peroxide. I've just got a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there, just cleaning that jug out, because that jug has had potassium permanganate in it. So the problem we've got, you legends, is his pond's really murky, and we've only caught one little sturgeon, and I think there's about 4 or 5 in there. So we're just pumping some of the water out of the pond so that we can see the fish, and then what I'm going to do is leave him with the medication, and then he can put the medication in. I can leave him with the hydrogen peroxide, all weighed out, all measured up, ready to go. And then obviously I'll come back tomorrow and we'll get the sturgeon back in. Nice. Yes, guys, so as you can see from the scrapes, it was plastered in trichodina. There was also flukes. Now, he couldn't catch his sturgeon, and because he couldn't see him, his water was really bad. He's got 3 pressurised filters on there, and through bad information that he took, he was under the impression that he only had to clean them out like once every 6 months. Now the problem is, once a pressurised filter gets dirty, once the sponges inside are all completely blocked, the water will just bypass the sponges. So then you've got absolutely no biological filtration, because the water's not passing over that media, through the media. And you've got no mechanical filtration because it's absolutely chock-a-block with poo. So yes, guys, so when he went to see Big Ron, you know why we call him Big Ron, Ron did some water tests, and he said that he had some ammonia in the water and some nitrite. And he did scrapes on the fish. So when I got there, I didn't even think, like an absolute knobhead, to test the water. I just literally went in, because the fish were like literally dying, rolling over and just floating on the top as I was there. Mainly the goldfish, guys, it was. Yeah, so he couldn't find his sturgeon. I set up the blue vat, put some fresh water in, thank God I did that, and some of the pond water. Put an air pump in there, so got that aerated, so it was safe for the sturgeon. But like I say, he couldn't see sturgeon to catch them because his water clarity was quite bad. So God willing, I'm sure it was a bit of an act from God, that fact. So we did a massive water change on the pond, probably half the water we drained out and then topped it back up. We managed to get the sturgeon out. We could only find 3, 2 small ones and 1 sort of 12-inch one. And basically what I did is I measured his pond, worked out how many gallons. He had about 1,200 gallons he did, but he had a lot of fish, guys. A lot of fish, seriously overstocked. Again, not his fault. He's had the pond for 10 years, guys. You know, every summer you want to go to the shop and add more fish and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it was seriously overstocked. And that's what this video is about, husbandry. It's not his fault. You know, he's just had bad information. And yeah, so we did like a good 50% water change. And then obviously he had to top the pond back up. I left him with the potassium permanganate, which I weighed out. So I did the full dose, full standard dose plus 10%, because there was a bit of algae and stuff in his pond as well. And basically the potassium permanganate will get reduced because it will be trying to kill off the algae before it even gets to the parasites. And I left him a bottle, which I measured out, of hydrogen peroxide to put in after 6 hours or the next day, and also to neutralise it. And also if his fish were gasping and stuff, he could have put it in and neutralised it as an emergency, which is always recommended, guys. If ever you're going to treat with PP, make sure you've got hydrogen peroxide. So yes, guys, the next day I couldn't get back to him because I was stuck on another job the other side of Birmingham. So I went over yesterday morning, which was Saturday, and had a chat with him. I did some more scrapes and there was still trichodina on the fish and a few flukes as well, but nowhere near the amount that was there previously. So that's at that point I did a water test, guys, and his ammonia was at 5 parts per million. Now, bearing in mind that the day before we'd done a 50% water change, and his nitrite was the same, 5 parts per million. So because his filters were blocked and they hadn't been cleaned, his whole ecosystem had broke down. The ammonia was just getting stronger and stronger. His filters weren't filtering anymore. His water had turned to absolute crap. So what I had to do, you legends, was drain the pond again, another 50% water change. And then I left him with the potassium permanganate to retreat the pond and some more hydrogen peroxide to neutralise it. And then I left him with some fluke treatment to put in the day after. He's turned his UV off. In between the first visit and the second visit, he's cleaned out all of his filters. They're absolutely spotlessly clean. He's going to keep on top of them now. I said to him, you need to do it weekly. And this is what I'm getting to in this video, you legends. So yeah, hopefully his fish will start to recover. My advice to him was maybe to, once they're parasite free, and the water quality is good, maybe you should rehome, because there's a lot of goldfish in there, guys. Golden North, grass carp, koi carp. It was seriously overstocked, you legends. But again, no one's to blame for this. If you go to a shop, really, they should ask you how many gallons you've got, what filtration you've got, and how many fish you've got and what size they are before they even sell you a fish. But obviously it just doesn't happen like that, does it, ideally? But yeah, that's what I used to do when I used to sell for koi. And do a water test, ask them to take a water sample with you as well before they purchase any koi. So I don't think a lot of people do that anymore. Yeah, so fingers crossed, Steve, absolute legend. Really nice to meet you, mate. Lovely pond. It's nice to meet your wife as well. I would have loved to have met them dogs, I tell you. I love dogs, but I think he was a bit worried, like, in case they got a bit, like, feisty, because obviously I was in their back garden. So yes, guys, so let's get on to track of koi husbandry. So you need to think about owning a pond and owning koi. Those 4 walls and that floor and that filter is their complete universe. It is their universe. And basically, you are their God, because you're in control of their environment. And it's your job to make sure that that water is the purest that it can be, the cleanest it can be, the filtration's as clean as possible. Because husbandry is being a good husband, basically, taking care of these animals. You know, koi are like living art, guys. Yeah, and it's our responsibility to take care of them. So, I mean, if you think, look, that guy had the pond for 10 years, never had an issue. But obviously, as he's introduced more fish, he's bought another pressurised filter and then so on and so on. And things have just got a bit lapsed. So, yes guys, it's down to you legends to treat your pond like, you know, check the water quality. Like even if you've had the pond for a couple of years, to like, because you can have new pond syndrome in a brand new pond and it takes a year. And in that time, most people have got a water test kit and they'll be testing regularly, doing water changes and stuff and reducing the amount of food just to get it all stabilised. But if you leave it and it's just going to turn to pea soup, it's going to turn bacterial. Like those filters, once they're totally clogged up, that's where trichodina comes from. And now you could clean that filter out. It thrives in shit, basically, in sewage and all sorts of stuff. And it's not actually a parasite because it doesn't feed off the fish. It'll just irritate the life out of the fish and they'll start flicking and getting damaged and all that sort of stuff. So I think personally, it wasn't actually the trichodina that was killing his goldfish. I think it was the high amount of ammonia and the high amount of nitrite. So yeah, the importance of owning a water test kit is paramount, guys, second to none. Everybody should own a water test kit at least, and a microscope, guys. So yeah, and keep that filter as absolutely as clean as you possibly can, especially through the summer months when you're feeding more heavily. Obviously, they're going to be producing more fish waste, more fish poo, and more ammonia, because koi will excrete ammonia from the gills as well as in the urine and in their poo. So it is that time of year, guys. Definitely is coming through spring when you just start to feed more. If you go from feeding like once every 2 days to feeding twice a day, 3 times a day, the bacteria in your filter will have died back, because that bacteria will only grow as much as it's got food. If you think, you know, if you've got 10 humans and you've only got 1 human's amount of food, eventually they're going to die back, and that's what happens to the bacteria. And then when you start feeding more, that bacteria will cultivate and grow and grow and grow. So it's a steady thing. You need to start up in the food very slowly and testing your water throughout, especially throughout spring, guys. When you come to sort of autumn, yeah, your filter's fired up. It's full of the good bacteria that eats ammonia, guys. And then that bacteria poos nitrite. You add oxygen to nitrite, becomes nitrate, and then that will evaporate. And that's the full cycle of your pond. So yes, guys, it is Father's Day, and I thought it'd be a good day to do a video on husbandry. So yeah, you've really can't state it enough. You need to keep on top of the filters. Clean them weekly, guys, if not daily. I'm serious. Like, so if you've got a Nexus in the summer, even if it's got an auto clean or whether it hasn't got an auto clean, clean it daily. It takes 10 minutes, guys. Go out there, give it an aeration, empty it, because otherwise you can end up with all sorts of problems. And it's your responsibility to take care of these living jewels. So what an absolute cockwipe. Yeah, so from that job, I forgot to press play on my little background thing, guys. What an absolute knob. So yeah, it's on there. So yeah, yesterday I went out to see another new customer. There's a lot of sort of healthcare work coming my way. I don't know if it's because of the channel or what. A guy called Paul, absolute legend, really nice guy. Over Dudley way, Wolverhampton. He was definitely a Wolverhampton's fan. So yeah, I went over to see him, and basically his pond was absolutely immaculate. His filter was immaculate. Total attention to detail. I didn't film it, guys, but again, he was worried about his fish because they were like sulking underneath where the water comes back in. So my instinct was it could be gill flukes. So we did some water tests, legends, and his water was absolutely spot on. No ammonia, no nitrite, and a pH of 8.2, which he was worried about. But guys, a low pH is acidic and it's not good for koi, whereas a high pH is absolutely no problem at all. As I said, in Barbados, the island of Barbados is basically big limestone, and the water comes up through the ground, so there is a lot of lime in the water there. So the pH there is around 9. The only thing that I've noticed with a very high pH is it can turn over a period of years. The whites on the koi can start to go a little bit sort of yellowish. But obviously that could be down to the amount of sunshine and the temperature of the water and all the other stuff. So yeah, but I checked his water was perfect. I scraped 3 of his fish, didn't find any gill flukes. I found a couple of dead trichodina, but I was surprised. But he had recently been out and bought a Waz pond vac. Like I say, the pond was spotless, his filters were spotless. But the reason why he called me out is because his fish was sulking. Yeah, so we did some scrapes, and the only thing I found was gill flukes, guys. Now, they weren't really flicking sort of when I got there. But I use, as you probably know, I am a massive fan of Kasuri products. I generally use everything from Kasuri because it's tried, tested, and all the rest of it. The only thing that I am a little bit like sort of working with is the PP, because I don't think it's as strong as it used to be, which is why I'll put 10% a little bit more in. But you've got to realise that it's my responsibility. If I put too much of anything in and you get fish losses, it's not going to look good for old Perky, is it, or the customer. So yeah, I used Fluke P, which is praziquantel. So a lot of fluke treatments, like Fluke M, for instance, you need to really make sure you can get that turned into a liquid before you put it into the pond. And it's very difficult. Maybe a blender or something, and then let it die down. You can use acetone as well. You need to make sure that it's fully dissolved before you put it in your pond. And the reason for that is it will end up going down your skimmer, your filter will take it out, or it will go through the water and then your drum will take it out, and then that kind of defeats the object. But the reason why I use Fluke P is Fluke M, when you put it in, it will take 2 days before it actually starts to work. So if you did a scrape on day 1 and day 2, you'll probably find that some of the flukes are still alive and it thinks that your treatment hasn't worked. But then on day 3, you'll see them, they'll be like this. And then day 4 and day 5, they'll be dead. Make sure you turn your UV lights off, guys. But yeah, praziquantel works instantly. The second that you put it in, it'll start working. So yeah, we put the full dose of Fluke P in, and within about 5 minutes you could see it was irritating the fish. And the reason for that is the Fluke P is working instantly. It's attacking the parasites, which are making the parasites do this. And then you can see the fish are like sort of, so they did start to do a little bit, only 1 or 2 or 3 of them just started to do a bit of flicking. So, but that proves in my mind that that treatment is working. So yes, guys, it is our responsibility to take care of these living gems to the best of our ability. And it is quite easy over time to let that slide. You know, I mean, when you first get into the hobby, you know, you just want to get some nice fish, some big fish, the best filtration that you can. And then after a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, you can start to slide. You know, it's the weekend, I need to clean my filters out and the water's not looking too bad. I'll leave it till next week and so on and so forth. But yeah, like I say, it is your responsibility, our responsibility to take care of these koi and make sure that they're not just surviving, but they're actually thriving. Overstocking as well, guys. Look, the temptation to go and buy more fish and more fish and more fish is overwhelming. And I did it myself with my first pond, and I'm sure that all of you have as well. But basically, you need to build up your stock very gradually over a period of a couple of years. But people don't. They've got a brand new pond. They're excited. They fill the pond with blooming fish. The water turns bad. They start losing fish. And I suppose it is a learning curve getting into the hobby. But like this channel here, like I'm trying to help you guys do it perfectly. Like, so you've got no trouble. You've got no massive spikes of ammonia. You've got no massive spikes of nitrite, and you know how to keep on top of it. I mean, say for instance, like if you've got a 5-bedroom house, you know, with 3 kids and you and your missus, you'll be great. But if you've got like 50 people living in that house all together, eventually the quality of the air you're breathing is going to go down. Any germs that are they're going to spread around more easily, and your life's you're not going to be thriving in that environment. So yeah, I mean, ideally, guys, I mean, if you've got a really, really good filtration system, like a drum or a Nexus or whatever, I'm not a fan of pressurized filters, guys, but they do work as long as you keep them clean, like really keep on top of them. But if you, if as long as you keep on top of that, then you're going to be absolutely fine. But you don't want to be overstocking, and that's the issue. People get excited, they want to see a new fish, they want to buy it. You'd be much better off if you had a 4,000 gallon pond. You'd be better off having 8 nice fish that are going to absolutely thrive in that pond, because they're doggies. Hello doggy! They're all dogs, guys. They've all got different personalities and stuff. But that is my advice to you absolute legends. Keep on top of your husbandry. Make sure your filters are clean as possible. You can't over clean a filter, guys. That bacteria is clung to the media. So keep your filters clean. Check your water. I mean, Steve didn't even have a water test. I'm sure he's got one now though. So yeah, so when I went back on the Saturday, going back to that, we had to do another 50% water change, guys. And that would have brought his ammonia and nitrite down to 2 parts per million, which is still like, so it should be 0, guys. You should have no ammonia, no nitrite, pH is 7.5. And phosphates probably about 80 if possible. There is phosphate removers as well, guys, and phosphates is what makes algae bloom, because phosphate is basically plant food, fertilizer, fish poo turns to fertilizer. If you clean your filters out, stick it on your plants, and your garden will absolutely flipping grow. So yes, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Wednesday night's video will be about the membership. So much positive feedback, you legends. It has been getting quite overwhelming, the amount of calls, and since I've mentioned that in the video, most of the people that were messaging me have gone, I'm so sorry mate, like I didn't mean to like message you late at night or stuff. You could have messaged me back the next day. And like I'm you know, I've got back to everyone. I get back to everyone because I love what I do, and I just love helping. I want to help people. I want to help you enjoy this like brilliant hobby, because when all your fish start dying and that, people fill in the ponds and just give up on it, whereas there's absolutely no need to. So I've lost track of what I was saying then, but yes, guys, I'll leave it there. Next Wednesday's video is the membership. Yes, them guys, they message me, and you see the problem is it's not one person or 2, but it's the volume of them coming in, and I do want to help people, so there will be a free tier membership, which I'll do the video for on Wednesday. So I'm going to try and make it as affordable as possible, and there'll be 3 tiers: bronze, silver and gold. The first one will be, well, I'll explain it all to you on Wednesday, guys. So if you join, you join. If you don't, you're more than welcome to watch all the videos, you legends. So basically I'll make these videos to teach and train. If you've got a problem with your pond, you can go through all my videos, you'll find the answer. The answer is in all of my videos, guys. But I think the membership thing will be more for people that I can't get to, they're too far away, but they own a water test kit, they own a microscope, they own a catching net and a water test kit. And if you've got them, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, I'll be able to help you through WhatsApp. Yeah, so I'm going to set it up so there's people have got access to me on WhatsApp where they can send videos, we can chat, we can go through what's going on. Yeah, so that will be a Wednesday night's video, guys. Sorry there weren't much footage in this one, but I thought it was really important to bring this to you. So you legends, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get changed. I'm going to go and meet my son. Happy Father's Day to everyone. I lost my dad 22 years ago. It took me 2 years just to even come to terms with it, because I was raised by my dad. So I feel for everyone who's lost their father. And if your dad is still alive, guys, pick up the phone right now, ring him up, and just tell him you love him. And I'm sure he'll appreciate it. So yes, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that likes. Thanks to everyone that comments, guys. It's the comments that make the channel grow. So I could put up the worst video ever, how to build a bog filter, which will literally in 5 years kill every single living organism in your pond. And I could post it out there, and you'll get 1 million comments, people going, that's terrible, your fish will die, blah, blah. But the fact that it's had that many comments, that the YouTube will just push it, delete, because it's got so many comments. YouTube push it through the comments. But I'm not begging everyone that watches the videos to like and leave a comment and stuff. If you find it useful, yeah, thanks for the thumbs up, and definitely leave a comment if you can. I think a lady called Sarah said like she's watches but she's never commented and stuff because she didn't realise that's how YouTube worked, but unfortunately it does. So yeah, all your comments do help the channel sort of grow, and it's not for me, it's because as the channel grows, I can help more people, basically. I don't make any money out of YouTube. Any money that does come from YouTube to me, basically, I'll buy mugs with, I'll help customers. Vince, you know that, mate. Absolute legend. And then, so yeah, so the channel will grow. I'm waffling on and on, and I can help more people. And I love my job, guys. I absolutely love my job. So yeah, I'll stop waffling on. I need to go and get changed. So guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of your koi. Take care of your loved ones. God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you in the next video.